Hello everyone and welcome to Cinderful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the Grey. Today's video is a Black Library review. In today's video, we'll be taking a look at one of the many publications brought out by Black Library and giving you our thoughts on the book, audio drama, whatever it happens to be. Now, I will say that we will try to keep this review to as spoiler free as possible, though there will obviously be points where we talk about things happening in the book. We will try to keep away from saying any of the major plot points, so you can go and read this book for yourself. We'll just give you our thoughts on whether or not we think it is something you may be interested in. So we'll use this video to instruct you on maybe is this sort of going to be a book that you would like to see. With that all said and out the way, let's get cracking on. Let's talk a little bit about the book that we have reviewed this time. In today's Black Library review, we're going to be checking out The Blood of Asaheim by Chris Wright. Now, this one, as always, I like to listen to the audio versions. I listen to them on Audible or through the Black Library audio app or other various means, and this one is narrated by one of my favourite Black Library narrators in Andrew James Spooner. Always does a fantastic job, brings so many good characters to life, has such a good range of different voices, fantastic voice actor, and narrator for the stories. Now, with that said, let's get cracking on and let's go check out the story and get into the review. And so, the story. The feral warrior kings of Fenris, the Space Wolves, are the sons of Leman Russ, one of the many primarchs of the immortal God Emperor. Savage heroes, few can match their ferocity in battle. However, after half a century apart, Space Wolves Ingvar and Gunlauga are reunited. They are sent to defend an important shrine world from the plague-ridden Death Guard and all the various enemies that come with that, you know, plague zombies and all of that good stuff. The Grey Hunters clash with the pious sisters of battle upon the planet, who see the Space Wolves as little better than the enemy they fight. They see them as, you know, the feral savages. As enemies close in around them and treachery is revealed from within, Gunlauga and his warriors must hold the defenders together, bringing together, you know, all the myriad forces they have, even as hidden tensions threaten to tear the pack apart. And so the story's purpose. This story introduces us to a pack of Grey Hunters that are led by Gunlauga. Now, Gunlauga has recently assumed his rank of Wolfguard pack leader within the unit, and Ingvar, our other character, has returned from duty serving in the Death Watch, a bunch of, we could say, A-team style Space Marines who go out on special Xenos killing missions, and feels at odds with his new pack leader with whom he was previously very close. We get introduced to the various members of this pack, and this is the first of a bunch of stories set around the Space Wolves, so very much it feels like we're introducing a lot of the characters in here rather than giving them, I guess, an awful lot of growth. We're really learning about and setting down the characters. But we get to see the inner workings of a Space Wolf Grey Hunter pack, which is really fun to see, like, because they are so, you know, not Codex adherent. They're not like any other Space Marine chapter. It's really nice sort of seeing, you know, we've got different members. We've got these two sort of members, someone new arisen to the rank of Death Watch Marine coming back to his squad. We have, you know, a Bloodclaw, which is a Space Wolf Scout or Initiate, coming in and becoming, you know, a fully fledged Space Marine. So it's really interesting getting that look at these different sort of members of the squad. And so, our main characters are Gunlauga and Ingvar. So, we have, you know, this interesting dynamic between these two characters. They were previously very, very close. And we get the points of that before Ingvar went and served in the Death Watch, it was both him and Gunlauga who were sort of, you know, next in line, the two fighting it out to be the next Wolfguard pack leader. And of course, seeing as their previous pack leader unfortunately fell in battle while Ingvar was away serving the Death Watch, Gunlauga immediately was the only option to assume command of the pack. This leaves, you know, a bitter taste within Ingvar's mouth. You know, he wasn't there to compete for that role, to even be considered for the role because he, well, wasn't there. Now, it really is interesting seeing these two different characters. You know, Gunlauga is very typical Space Wolf. He is the savage, feral sort of warrior, where Ingvar, having served time in the Death Watch, has taken on a more different sort of approach. He's seen, you know, how Ultramarines fight, how Raven Guard fight, how all these different Space Marines fight, and has taken, you know, those tactics and those lessons upon him. And he feels, you know, he maybe knows more than Gunlauga does with these experiences. And so what does change about these main characters over the story? Like I said, this really is introducing them more than anything, but I think these two characters, more than any other ones, have a lot of sort of evolution throughout the story. We get to see them come back, and we do get to see, you know, the mendings of brotherhood, and then both come to understand what the other one is now sort of assumed. Gunlugger knows that he reached that rank without ever having a rival there. Like, unfortunately, their previous pack leader, as I said, passed away while Ingvar was not part of the squad. He was over serving the Death Watch. And so he knows that he rose, you know, unconfronted, while Ingvar, you know, feels he's maybe better equipped. And we get to see throughout the course of the story, these two characters come together and maybe start to have that brotherhood that they once had before Ingvar went away to the Death Watch. And so what does the book do? Well, for me, fleshing out the entire squad is certainly a very good part of this book. We get to see all the different members of the pack fleshed out and at least get, you know, a moment to shine each. Everyone gets that tiny bit of moment to shine, to, you know, seem like an important character within the pack. Obviously, Gunlugger and Ingvar take up the vast majority of our screen time within the story, but I do feel like we learn enough about the other members as well, learning, you know, the hierarchy and learning a little bit about the character of each of the different members of the pack. There are a lot of interesting plot lines laid out, but without having read the other books or listened to the other books as I do, I think it's too early to say anything on them, whether or not they're, you know, good parts. But definitely in, I guess, the case of this being, you know, the first book in the series, there's lots of plot points laid out that I'm quite interested to find out about. And who would enjoy this? Well, obviously, Space Wolves fans, this is something for you. Like, definitely this gives you a really good look, and it is Space Wolves almost entirely. It gives a good look at different members of the squad and how different sort of members of the Space Wolves work, and how, you know, you can get these different sort of opinions and feelings within, you know, the same Space Marine chapter. Though I do think this is a solid story. I think anyone who enjoys any of the Space Marine battle novels that were released, you know, like things like Hell's Reach and Rindsworld and all of that, I think any Space Marine fan that enjoys those sort of books would definitely get a look out of this. There's definitely a lot of fighting, but there's enough little intrigue. I sort of probably relate this, I guess, more to stories like the Death of Antagonists or the Death of Integrity in those Space Marine battle novels, where there's definitely a lot more sort of intrigue going on than just the general fighting. It's not solely, you know, combat all the time, but definitely a really enjoyable story for Space Wolves fans to get their teeth into. In summary, this was a great start to a series, laying down interesting plotline hooks that I'm really excited to see where they go, and fleshing out the characters as well that I feel, you know, connected to quite a few of them within just the first story. I'm intrigued to see where this goes, and I look forward to listening to the rest of these stories. As always, I can't give enough credit to Andrew M. Spooner, who does a great job of bringing the characters to life. For me, solid 7 out of 10 story for the Space Wolves. If you have read this or you've listened to this, let us know what you thought about it down in the comments below. And so that's the end of the video. We hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And while you're at it, why don't you drop a comment down below letting us know what you enjoyed about the video. If you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our little community here at Cinderful Gaming, you can do so by joining our Discord server, which is linked down in the video's description. Also linked down in the video's description are the best ways to help support the channel, which is our Patreon and YouTube members. As Patreon and YouTube members, you'll get to help decide what content the channel focuses on when we're not focusing on new releases, and you'll also get your name shouted out at the end of the video. So a special thanks to all our Patreons: Christian Weir, Soren, Kenny Lyle, Outer and Shot First, Andrew Bowen, Nathan Fee, The Rising Ape, Q Dynamic, Anthony B, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Cater, Bloobs, Benjamin Suarez, Redman, Aaron DeHaven, and Kevin Bowman. And to our YouTube members as well: Green Roots Gaming, Kenton Young, Ronya, Lock, The Johnny84, David Ellsworth, Wolfric Nick, Broken Chef, Ariana Edwards, Revenar, Pink Nico Fire, Robin Man Killer, Monty's Tabletop Terrain, John Castle, Davis Weir, and James South. Lastly, if you'd also like to help support the channel in another way, you can do so by grabbing some channel merch off either our Teespring store or off our Ko-fi store, both of which, as well as the Patreon and YouTube members, are linked in the video's description. Once again, thank you all for watching. Stay safe, everyone. Stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the Grey. Ciao for now.